Sure, we can ban TikTok from Canada, from much of the Western world, but what would that do to the creators? Hi, I'm Brian Lilley, political columnist for the Toronto Sun. Look, I completely understand the arguments for saying there are problems with TikTok. Its parent company, ByteDance, is very closely aligned with the Communist Party of China. There are concerns about them scraping data, sending it back to China, our personal information from our devices. These are all things that the company denies but that security experts say no, not only could it happen, it is happening. Then there are questions about the algorithm and the algorithm being manipulated to help direct political discussions or political dialogue. All of these are real concerns. Do we want a company based out of China with close ties to the Communist Party of China using its influence to try and direct the US presidential election? What about our own elections here in Canada? We know that China has tried to influence them. These are the bigger questions. But at the heart of it, TikTok is a user-generated app, and there are thousands and thousands of creators on this platform, creators who are making a good living using this platform. They have nothing to do with politics. They have nothing to do with ByteDance. They have nothing to do with communist China or trying to influence elections. How will this impact them? That's the question that I want to get to now, which is why I'm glad to be joined by Claude-Dee Laguerre. She is the Vice President of Business Development for Qode Social, one of the biggest agencies in Toronto dealing with social media. Claude-Dee, thanks for the time today.
Hi, Brian. Thank you so much for having me.
So, I've described what's going on and why politicians, governments are concerned about TikTok. And I think there are some valid reasons and legitimate concerns, although I think they've got to be more upfront with us about what those are. But let's talk about the other side of this, and that is that there is a whole community of creators in this country and around the world who make a living off of this platform. And if some people can't comprehend that you make a living off a social media platform. As someone
Absolutely.
in the business, it's absolutely true. So you deal with these people on a daily basis through your agency. Tell me about that. How big is the community? Are there a lot of people making a living off of TikTok specifically? I mean, social media in general, but TikTok specifically?
Yes, absolutely, Brian. What you said is spot on. So I lead the team at the #1 social media agency in Toronto, and we work with content creators as well as brands and advertisers who rely very strongly on advertising through TikTok. And just as you mentioned, what is most concerning is the lack of transparency under the current review that's been done by the Canadian government and the security review for the abolition of TikTok in the United States and in Canada. This would be catastrophic for millions of businesses in Canada, for social media influencers, and even musicians. For several years, TikTok has been at the forefront and has been setting trends for society and for entire cultures. And so now to have that ripped apart where TikTok was again at the forefront of a lot of the trend setting and Instagram and other platforms like Facebook would then follow, this would be again just really, really catastrophic for these people.
So you mentioned musicians. That's something I didn't know. I was talking to a friend earlier today who said, "Oh yeah, I'm on TikTok. I watch all my golf videos there. I know people that watch all kinds of, cooking or cookie decorating. People have all kinds of interest and they follow them. I didn't know that it was the MySpace 20 years later for musicians.
Yes. Yes, yes. No, that's a great analogy, Brian. TikTok has also
You'll
been
find the next Taylor Swift on TikTok, is what you're telling me.
exactly. There are hundreds of thousands of musicians and artists who have been discovered through the platform and who have even signed large record deals or gotten a sense of virality through TikTok. So absolutely, we cannot overlook the power of TikTok when it comes to music and creating trends with viral sounds.
So you said that the government needs to be more transparent with their review, and I'd
Yes.
absolutely agree with that. But if this many governments around the world of various political stripes have concerns, then I think there's also the idea that maybe ByteDance, the company behind TikTok, needs to be a bit more transparent with what's going on because it's not just one government, it's not just one political stripe, it's not just one country.
Yes, no, you're absolutely right. It is concerning to see countries like India and more completely ban TikTok. And I do agree that there must be a cause for concern, especially given how quickly the bill was passed through the House in the United States
With
and the fact
strong bipartisan support.
with strong bipartisan support, as well as the confidential review in Canada. So it is very concerning to see, and we're interested in finding out more as to what information they have that we don't know.
So, but look, and when I was in Israel recently, I was speaking to government ministers there. They're
Mhm.
very concerned because they think that TikTok pushes an anti-Israel, anti-Semitic message. You could see that if there was concern that the allegations against ByteDance were true, that they'd be trying to influence elections in the United States or in Canada. We have our own ongoing foreign interference inquiry. And so these are real concerns. What you're mostly dealing with, though, is not the political side. You're dealing with creators who want to show me how to make a better roast beef for dinner or
Yes.
nicer cookies or how to improve my golf swing's horrible. I don't play golf much. But I mean, those are the people you're dealing with, right?
Yes, that is exactly it, Brian. I think you hit the nail on the head. We do understand that the affiliation of ByteDance and its alleged connection to the Communist Party in China could pose a threat to national security. But with that being said, most of the uproar in terms of people being against the abolition of TikTok is the fact that many people are using this to discover local events in their communities, to connect with others, to create content that uplifts and inspires people around them. And they've built networks directly within the app. So again, it's measuring the impact of who is going to be most affected by a law such as this one.
I Some people might say it'd be, well, just migrate to another platform. Let me
Mhm.
ask you, I know the answer as someone who's been on multiple platforms for many years, who's basically been deplatformed by Facebook because Facebook doesn't like not only news but doesn't like political content. And I used to have a huge audience there.
Mhm.
It's not easy to migrate, is it?
At all. It's not easy at all, Brian. And, you see brands and content creators try to be present on several platforms, but it is very strenuous to do. And a lot of times, what we have seen is that the level of engagement and the growth on TikTok has surpassed any other platform. Just the numbers don't compare to what we've seen in terms of growth on Instagram and Facebook, YouTube, when it comes to growing a following, growing that number of subscribers. People have seen skyrocketing results on TikTok and have felt that finally they have a chance to be seen. So to have that ripped apart, ripped away from them, and now to recommend that they move over to another platform, for many of these people, they're going to be starting from scratch, or if they have not been active or investing as heavily in the past on other channels, this will again hit their revenues very seriously.
Well, it seems like the Americans just definitely want ByteDance to divest itself. I know that there are a lot of serious business investors who are looking at making a run for TikTok. Maybe that's a way out of this, because I definitely feel for the creators who are on there who are just doing the dance videos, doing the cooking videos, doing the golf, or whatever that entertains us and gives us a sense of community. I want them to feel whole at the end. Who owns it? I'm less interested as long as there isn't a national security threat.
Absolutely. We want everybody to be safe. We want everybody's information to be protected. I completely agree with that. And we've been getting countless messages on a day-to-day basis of, again, brands and influencers asking us what to do. And I believe at this point, the situation is, again, much larger than what is within our control. So we are just recommending that people remain agile, and that they continue to be open to innovating and evolving as the situation develops, showing up on other platforms, and being prepared to pivot quite quickly.
All right, Claude-Dee, thank you very much for your time today.
Thank you, Brian. It was a pleasure.
All right, let me know what you think. Let us, drop a comment below, share this on social media, including TikTok or wherever you can, and let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.